Hi, Dr. Paul Haider here. You know, we all have angry people in our lives, even if you just meet them at the grocery store. And some of us have them in our family, and some of them have them in our extended family, and on and on. And how do we love those people? It's sometimes seems almost impossible to love them, but it's really important to take that effort. It's easy to love the easygoing people. The ones that reach out to you and want to make a difference in your life and make you happy, and so those are easy. Uh, as in Hawaiian spiritual processes, they say about Ho'oponopono, and it's about also healing what we see out there in the world and somebody else and ourselves. In fact, one particular psychologist was at a mental institution, and he saw these people who had, you know, mental problems, and he was new at this particular institution, and they gave him an office, and he would walk around one morning and look and see what was going on, and then he would go into his office and he would start praying for that himself and that for that person also, but he would also say, I forgive myself, I forgive myself, I forgive myself, and I love you, I love you, I love you to himself, because he was healing himself, which that was an expression of himself in the other person. And lo and behold, the other person got better. And they ended up leaving that institution. And they noticed in that's this institution, this doctor wasn't coming out of his office and interacting with the people there. What's going on? He said, but people were getting better. What is going on? So they started asked him what he was doing, and he said, well, I have this process, ancient Hawaiian process called Ho'oponopono, and I've been using that to heal these people. And they said, whatever it is, just keep doing it. A lot of times angry people are the ones that don't call you back. The angry people are the ones that don't interact with you. A lot of times they just scorn the world. They don't want to be around people. And I think it's really important just to put in the effort. I think Dr. Wayne Dyer had some very difficult in-laws, and at first he would get into it with them. He had totally different views. They were from the South, and he was from a different area of the country, and they would get clash all the time. But he would just start to talk to them and be more interested in who they were. And after a while, they started coming around and asking questions about what he thought, and what his ideas were on a particular subject, and they changed completely. The more love we put into giving that love to people, especially the hard ones of love, the more changes we see in people. Uh, Love is a powerful thing that we can actually put out there. It's an action, and we can say we love somebody, but if we don't put the action in, it means nothing. It's just an empty word. And so it's about allowing ourselves to actually do the action. Sometimes you can have people over for dinner, and you can have somebody go, "Oh, that's terrible," and everybody else is going, "That's good," but that person is doing that because they're kind of an angry person, and they do that all the time with everything else because they just have this seething anger. And we don't know what's really going on deep down inside. Maybe their, father or mother used to beat them all the time, or maybe they had a tough upbringing. Maybe they were kicked out of the house when they were, 12 or something. You don't know. And so we always have to remember that underlying all of this is some terrible stuff that happened to this person. And we have to love them in spite of how they turned out, because this is just an expression of the process that they went through, and it's the only thing they know. But we can show them love that they didn't get as a child. You know, I know a particular lady who was she was abused by her father when she was about 13, and so she left, and she never ever forgave that her father, and so it kind of had a really hard time on her life as far as not being able to really have love in her life, and because she would get angry all the time. And that anger had nothing to do with the situation of her relationships, it had to do with the fact that she was still angry at her father. And so we used to have to remind ourselves, you know, especially maybe you're sitting at a stoplight and it's red and somebody's honking their horn behind you, and maybe they're angry, but you can't go anywhere, but they're screaming and yelling, and you have to remember it has nothing to do with you, and send them love, and remember that it's all about the stuff that they went through, and it was a tough time. And boy, that's not easy when you have somebody honking behind you. But it can be done. There's no doubt about that. And also to look at that person and see them as a baby. Yeah, and everyone loves a baby. There's no doubt about it. And babies come into this world, they're just pure bliss and love. And it's in the process of, their growth, that things happen that they end up changing. And so to see them as a tiny little baby, a tiny child, an innocent child, really makes a difference. Also, another thing that a person can do is to understand that we can see them as an expression of the great divinity. And some people walk around and say, ah, Buddha, ah, Jesus, ah, Krishna. And then see in their heart that there is an expression of that love inside them, deep down inside. In India, they always talk about the lamp of the heart. The lamp of the heart, a lot of times it has soot on the outside or in the inside. And so we have to clean that soot away in order to be able to see that glowing light which is within. But that doesn't mean that there's not a glowing light inside no matter what. There always is. Maybe a lot of times it's covered up with a lot of blackness. But it means that it's there. It's just not being expressed. And so we have to look a little deeper. We have to look beyond the darkness on the outside, that expression. And maybe sometimes that's pretty hard. I know that everyone, you may not think so, but everyone has people that really don't like you. You know what I mean? They hate you, they don't like you. There's basically four kinds of people: those that really hate you, really those people who would just kind of rather use you, those that really don't care, and then the ones that really love you. And so it's important to really be connected to the ones that really love you, and help to love those that really are on the fence, that don't really care, and to send more love to those that want to use you, and really send a lot of love to those who want to, hurt us in some way. And they really even don't know why they do that. Maybe it has to do with a past life thing. We don't know. But the more we send love, eventually those defenses and that karma starts to break down, even their karma, but especially our karma. And so the more karma we dissolve in our own life, the more love we are able to express, and the more strength that we have in our heart. And we start to see great changes, not only in them, but also in our heart too. And then we start reacting differently. The more we give out love, the more we give out love, the more we give out love, sooner or later it becomes an automatic response to not lash out at somebody getting angry at us. And that's pretty normal for a lot of people. I mean, most people will. I mean, if somebody gets angry and lashes out at you, what's your normal response? Is to lash out back and get angry at that person. But the more we give love, we actually stop that automatic response. And we say, I see this. I'm not going there. I'm going to send that person love. And then we start to grow from the inside out. And also, when the more we do introspection, the more we do contemplation, the more we get out in nature, the more we sit in silence, and the more we do meditation, the more we have the automatic response derail. And a lot of studies with like meditation masters and Christian monks and different groups show that when they're actually given photographs of something that would be shocking, you know, some kind of car wreck or something, or something even worse, like a war and the aftermath of war and things like that, their response is not the same. And so you have shut down the amygdala part of the brain, and it's not reacting like it would with the normal public. And right now, most people have a hyperactive amygdala part of the brain. It's just so intensely on, it doesn't know how to shut off. And so we have this hyper expression of feelings, especially angry feelings and anxiety feelings and feelings of sadness and that type of thing. And so when we meditate, we actually close off the valve on the amygdala, and we turn up the ability to have more compassion. So we open up that valve, and so we change our minds from the inside out. We also really take the thought process to another level. We take the prefrontal cortex, which is up here, and we make it thicker. As we get older, it becomes thinner. And as we meditate, it actually becomes thicker. So we have more ability to think and have more cognitive, complex thoughts than we had before. So we become totally different. And so also, we change our consciousness. We have this infinite field of consciousness, which is here, which is everything in the universe. And then there's little bubbles of consciousness which are breaking off and are still attached to that great consciousness, but they forget they're part of that one, and they see themselves separate, but yet they don't understand. But the process of meditation allows us to know that we are part of this great whole thing, and that we are part of the great ocean, and we are part of the one connection to the infinite field, or the ultimate field, or the consciousness of love. And scientists have proven this. And so the more we meditate, the more we contemplate, the more we go in nature and, like Thoreau, and go on Walden's Pond and sit there, the more we understand our true nature within, and that we are nothing but loving beings. And once we understand that, everything changes. And in India, it's all about seva. Seva is about giving and changing and helping and giving of service to people. And a lot of times, we go to church, we pray, we have our altar at home, we pray, but it never gets out of that little cubicle area, But seva is prayer in action. It's in giving service to others. And whether it be cooking a meal, or giving some change to somebody on the street, or, saying a nice word to somebody, that is love in action. So, and that's allowing our consciousness to grow to a huge, bigger step. And so we actually understand from a personal standpoint the totality of the oneness. That I am part of that person, I'm part of that person, that person is God, that person is God, I am God, we're all one. And science has proven this now. We are all one. So when you have those people who are really tough to love, when you have those angry people in your life, practice service to them. Give them love. Help them in any way you can. It may take a long time. I mean, it may take a week to them see a huge change in them. But it may take 2 years. It may take 10 years. But in the end, it is a wonderful, loving thing for you and also for them. Have a wonderful week coming up. And remember, I love you. And if you want to get a hold of me, my contact information is down below. And if you care to subscribe, I really greatly appreciate that. And if you care to make a donation, 2 different links are down below. One for a one-time donation and one time for an ongoing patron donation, if you care to do that. And I greatly appreciate that. And so I want to make sure that you understand just how much people really do love you. And you just have to allow yourself to be open to that love. I love you.